Okay, so we're going to talk about inverses and how they graph. So first we need a function. So I'm going to try to draw straight lines here. I'm going to draw a straight line from that point to that point. And then I'm going to draw another line up there. Now pretend like those don't have that big bump in it. I'll just make them thicker. Okay. And I'm going to call this function f. Okay? Now, I can make a table of values for function f. X, f of x, right? And it's fairly obvious there are 3 points that I know. I have -3, 0, I have 0, 2, and I have 1, 5. So I'm talking about these ordered pairs right at the ends of those line segments. Okay, now we want to do the inverse. Okay, so we're going to have a new table of values for the inverse function. And by the way, that function is 1 to 1. Okay, so I'm going to switch the x and y's. 0, -3, 2, 0, 5, 1. And then I'm going to graph those. So 0, -3, be down there. 2, 0 would be there. Now I can draw that line segment, if I can draw a straight line, and then 5, 1, be right there. Okay? And that's what the inverse then would look like, except it's not as thick because I didn't draw the thick lines. But anyway, you should notice, or I'm going to point out, that if you were to fold along the diagonal, or the identity function, right? That's the identity function, y equals x. A lot of times they'll just put y equals x for that line. But if you fold it on that line, the points on the function would line up with the points on the inverse. And that's true. That's a property of a function and its inverse. You should be able to fold the graph on the dotted line and the points match up. Okay, so with that in mind, it says given the graph of f of x. Okay, so this is f of x right here. And they want us to graph the inverse. Okay, the easiest way to do it is find points that you know. I think this is the easiest way. So x, f of x. And I'm going to say there's a point here at 0, -4. I'm going to say there's a point here like at 1, 0. And I'm going to say there's a point here like at 4, 2. Oops, 4, 2. Okay, then I'm going to do the inverse. The inverse. So x, f inverse of x. And I just switch the x's and y's. And then I have to graph those. So -4, 0. 0, 1, and 2, 4. Now when you go to draw the curve, you want it to, look like the other curve. And good luck with that. But it kind of looks the same. Again, you should be able to fold along this diagonal, the y equals x line, the identity function, and the points from the function should line up with the points of the inverse. Okay, so those are kind of fun to do. The trick is to find the points that you can identify and then switch them